The place, Bosworth Field, England. The date, August 22, 1485. The occasion, the decisive battle in the Wars of the Roses. The Wars of the Roses, fought between the houses of Lancaster and York, had been waging off and on since 1455. But on this day, the fate of England hung in the balance as the forces of the current Plantagenet King Richard III and the man who would be king, Henry Tudor, stood ready to fight on Bosworth Field, near Ambion Hill, south of the town of Market Bosworth, in Leicestershire. Richard's Yorkist forces, positioned at the top of the hill along with his allies the Duke of Norfolk and Earl of Northumberland, had 8,000 to 12,000 men ready to fight. Henry's smaller Lancastrian force, estimated between 5,000 and 8,000 men, was positioned below, with marshland to their flank. And standing off to the side were the forces of Lord Stanley and Sir William Stanley, coveted by both Richard and Henry, waiting to see how the battle would unfold while they decided which side it would be most advantageous to support. Richard divided his army into 3 groups. Henry kept most of his force together, and aware of his own military inexperience, placed it under the command of the experienced Earl of Oxford. Richard's vanguard, commanded by Norfolk, attacked, but struggled against Oxford's men, and some of Norfolk's troops fled the field. Northumberland took no action when signaled to assist his king. Historians are uncertain if this was for personal reasons or due to the topography of the battlefield, but either way Richard was left to his own devices, so he gambled everything on a charge across the battlefield to kill Henry and end the fight. Richard killed Henry's standard-bearer Sir William Brandon in the initial charge, but couldn't get to Henry, who dismounted and concealed himself amongst his bodyguards. Meanwhile, seeing Richard embroiled with Henry's men and separated from his main force, William Stanley made his move and rode to Henry's aid. Now outnumbered, Richard's group was surrounded and gradually pressed back to the edge of a marsh, into which the king's horse toppled. Richard, now unhorsed, gathered himself and rallied his dwindling followers, refusing to retreat and supposedly shouting, "God forbid that I retreat one step. I will either win the battle as a king or die as one." Die he did, slain by Stanley's men. Polydore Virgil, Henry Tudor's official historian, recorded that King Richard was killed fighting manfully in the thickest press of his enemies. Richard had come within a sword's length of Henry Tudor. Henry seized the crown by right of conquest. While he would still need a few years and some more battles to fully consolidate his power, the Battle of Bosworth Field was a turning point in English history. The Plantagenet dynasty was over. The Tudor dynasty was beginning, a dynasty that would include Henry VIII and Elizabeth I.